Here we are in the mayor's office of Moose Jaw City Hall, and our recently elected mayor, Fraser Tolmie, is with us, and he's granted us some time to talk about him and the process of getting to be mayor and where his thoughts are for the future of our city. So, Fraser, first of all, congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much, Lyle, for having me here today.
Yeah, and you had been on council and then ran for mayor. Not successful that time, but still had that idea in your head that you wanted to do that, so had the chance to come back. Am I putting words in your mouth, or is that kind of the course you followed?
You know what, Lyle, I've always had a heart to serve, whatever capacity it's been in, whether it's through nonprofit organizations with my association with Special Olympics, different boards, organizations within the city or whatever community that I've lived in. And this, obviously was another stepping stone for me to, like I said, I ran in 2012. And then the conversations had changed. It used to be, we'd go out for grocery shopping and people would say, I voted for you, sorry you didn't make it. And then it went to, will you run? Are you going to run again? And then will you run? And then what's it going to take for you to run? So that kind of was a motivator for me. And but I've always wanted to serve. I've always wanted to serve, bring something to the table.
Yeah, I was recently at Saskatchewan Sports Hall of Fame Gala,
right,
and sat beside the lady who's your executive director of your organization, and she says, "Oh yeah, you're from Moose Jaw, you know Fraser," and I go, "Yeah, he's really good." So yeah. It was nice of her to say that, but it does reflect on the fact that you want to be involved in those kind of things. And you thought of other aspects of politics. There was thoughts about maybe running as a Conservative candidate, but I think it's kind to say that didn't work out. Is that the way to say that?
I think to be diplomatic, that would probably be the way that we would say that right now.
Yeah. Enough said. If you want to know more, talk to Fraser. But Fraser, you've come to our community. You were in the Canadian Armed Forces in what is now called the RCAF, but back then was just the Air Force. And you came here, and a lot of things happened. One of them being you met your wife.
Yes. I was told before coming out here that, I was single at the time, that you'd find a woman behind every tree, but the problem was there wasn't a lot of trees in Saskatchewan as a whole. And I was very fortunate. I was very, very fortunate. Met Cassandra and fell in love, and we got married, and excited. We've got a young family. Yeah,
just 2 daughters?
Yes, 2 daughters. Saoirse, who's going to be 4 in December. She's a day after my mother's birthday, and my wife's a day after mine, and we seem to have this historical pattern in my family. And then Ailey, who turned 1 on the 31st, which was the inauguration. And so we had a full day. We had Halloween, we had birthdays, and we had inauguration.
And inoculations today.
Yes, and inoculations. And so Mommy's at home looking after the girls and nursing them through that.
And a little bit of reaction to their inoculation, because that's generally, they get a little bit of a temperature as their body adjusts to it. But still, as a young parent, with children, it's a concern.
Yeah, it is. Sometimes the kids can't always tell you how they feel, and they seem to power through it a lot better than what Dad does. When Dad's sick, he's the sickest man on earth.
Well, you got man cold.
Yeah. That's what we'll be using. Yeah. I appreciate that term.
Yeah. So, Fraser, and you became a candidate. You had a lot of support, I think, particularly we could say from the business community, where a lot of were people behind you.
It's very funny. Predominantly the business community, but there are other communities that have been supporting, and I think that was one of the key strategies in our campaign. It was bringing different people together. We've got a great business community here in Moose Jaw, and they do so many good things to help in our community. And it's not always, that story's not always told. And I think those are some of the stories that we do need to share and capitalize on. And it's a beautiful quality about Moose Jaw is that we're humble. And we don't like to brag about the good things that we do. but sometimes that it's okay to do that.
Yeah.
I think we need to do a little bit more about that. I think we need to really cheer for this city. We've got so much potential, and I always go back to this. It might sound corny, but it's the people. You can have a building, but unless that building's filled with people, there's no potential. You can have a business, but if it's not, run by people, that's where the potential is. We've got so much potential, and we really want to tap into that.
And that is a positive thing, because as you say, there are so many good things about this community that oftentimes we just, oh yeah, it's like being a tourist in your own town. It's one of those expressions. If you went around and went to some of the tourist events that are here, you go like, wow, like it's this example, doing the tours of the tunnels, how many people have done it. And it's an amazing world-class entertainment piece, and you go like, oh yeah, well, it's the tunnels, it's in Moose Jaw, yeah. But how many have done? Go down there and see that.
Yeah.
Share some of the things.
Be a tourist in your own city for a day. Go around. I've said that before. I said that when I was on council. It was fantastic. Today, I had an opportunity to have lunch downtown. And what I did was I went down outside the front door, and I looked at, and I said, this is our city. And I looked, and I saw people looking at me, and I was just breathing it in. What a great landscape to look at. The buildings here, and then saying, what am I going to choose for lunch today?
Yeah.
And where am I going to go? And who am I going to see? And what are we going to do? And I think we need to do those adventures every once in a while and just be appreciative of our own community.
Yeah, the heritage of our community is good. We got 5 minutes left already.
Oh,
so we got.
we can fill that.
No. We've got to talk about getting elected and what you see as challenges and what you see as areas where you want us to go. So I'll let you kind of ramble with those thoughts in your head.
So getting elected, it's been a real honor and a privilege. When those chains go around your neck, you come to a realization about what a privilege it is to be able to serve in this community and to be able to serve the people. And, we want to bring the best. So I've got to bring my best every single day to this office and to represent the citizens of Moose Jaw. And every day it's going to be a challenge for me to do that, but I'm going to be motivated knowing that we were given a clear mandate by the citizens of Moose Jaw to be entrusted with that confidence and to carry out that duty.
And so we've got 3 returning members, and yourself as a semi-returning member, and 3 rookies. So there's going to be some challenges with that, because last council in the last 6 months was very divided and quite antagonistic towards each other. And I'm wondering, where do you fit into that? What do you see? How are you going to deal with that?
Well, I've always campaigned on accountability and transparency, and I think I have to hold myself accountable. And I think that's where we have to, as a council, say that accountability starts with ourselves. Okay, the way that we conduct ourselves. I can't control someone if they, go off the rails or whatever, but I can set the tone and say this is not acceptable. The citizens of Moose Jaw have elected us to behave in a certain way, and are you bringing the best to the table in your actions? And that's for new councillors. That's for old councillors. And again, I hold myself accountable in that manner.
Now, some of the challenges you're going to face: cast, lip, one's gone, the other's there, and you've got 4 years to look at. Some people have, the cast, the infrastructure has to be dealt with.
Absolutely.
And, because the citizens have voted against the lip program, so what do you see? How do you want that to go?
Well, and that's obviously number one challenge. This job, we have been elected going in with our eyes open that we're going to be facing these challenges. So we're not going to be shying away. I think the way that we handle ourselves, going back to your previous question, is going to be setting the tone. We have to understand, as a council and as a mayor, we serve as a purpose. Our purpose is to serve this community. And then we have to flush out what our values are. And once we have that, and we have that conversation around the table, we're going to be able to set a vision. and put a plan in place for the citizens of Moose Jaw. And that's what we want to bring to the table. We have to do it in that order. We have to understand what our purpose is. We have to understand what our values are, and listening to what other people's values are, what they hold dear to their hearts, what their convictions are, and then be able to share that and have an open correspondence and listen, an open dialogue for that. So.
And you've got a budget coming up. The initiative already set out there for input from the community.
Yes.
There's a lot of people who have been taking that to heart.
Yes.
And come up with some ideas that I think council, in retrospect, has never thought of what they're looking at in some of those ways.
Absolutely. You know, I wasn't elected because I was going to have all the ideas. I was elected because I wanted to listen to what other people's ideas are. And maybe my idea will be the right idea, or maybe I'll have to listen and go, you know what, I never thought of it, I never saw that perspective, but let's bring that to the table. Or we may have some shared ideas that could work together to bring a better idea and a better solution. We're going to work on that.
Okay. Well, we're at the end of our time already.
Can we do this again?
Yes, I'd like to do it like once every 4 to 6 weeks, if that's okay with you.
That's excellent. I'd love to be back. I really appreciate what you're doing for our community, Lyle. I really do. Thank you.
Well, thanks. And so thank you for taking the time out of your family and citizens' requirements. And you're going to be carrying on later on and have a whole 4 years to put the city and deal with a lot of the issues that are there for us now.
Oh, thank you.
So thanks to you for being here, and thanks for you for watching. And we'll see you again soon on Moose Jaw this week.